You want it? You got it. Reality radio done right. No nonsense, real and raw, just like you like it.
He's corrupt, he's inexperienced, and he lies.
Broadcasting from a broom closet in the Arizona Lotus Studios, it's Beef Vegan Presents.
Yo, welcome back to the show. It's Beef Vegan presenting live on Rock 102.1 KFMA, streaming worldwide at KFMA.com. On this beautiful Thursday, April 3rd. Good morning, Rico.
Good morning.
Good morning, Emil.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tucson. Thank you guys for tuning in to the show. I have a lot of stuff to get into. You want to talk tariffs?
Yes.
Anyone want to talk
Nothing
tariffs?
excites me more.
I know, it's so interesting. Fun.
Yeah, Tariff Thursday. So you take the H out because the H is actually taxed to the provider, and then we end up paying for the H. But right now we're not paying for the H, so I'm just going to say Tariff Thursday. Yes, everything is tariffed here, but I'm not going to talk about that. We'll go down the rabbit hole on that another day and time. You know, it looked like the Supreme Court upheld an FDA block on flavored vapes. So if you like unicorn peen as your flavored vape,
My favorite.
yeah, I know. That's the reason why I brought it up. You know, like you want to smell like angel farts when you blow out your vape. All these crazy flavors were getting out of control, anyways. You know, it wasn't just strawberry or any kind of like normal fruit.
Yeah,
It was a combination of concoctions that you could only really like imagine in an MDMA fever dream.
Right.
Right. It's almost like the energy drink industry was competing with them for
Yeah.
more outlandish names.
Yeah. That's like what is the flavor of gay? I don't know what it would taste like, but if we could say it was a flavor,
But it sounds like that one, exactly. So
Cranberry Riz Murder. Sounds great.
Yeah, the Supreme Court unanimously upheld the Food and Drug Administration's decision to deny authorization for the sale of flavored e-cigarettes yesterday. Writing for the court, they rejected claims from manufacturers that the FDA had arbitrarily changed its approval requirements during the evaluation process. Now, it is worth noting, we have come across stories about how flavored nicotine, and who knows, you know, like you always got to take information with a grain of salt in the information age. But flavored nicotine, in particular, was worse for you than non-flavored.
makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, you would assume
Just
that
more
there's got to be
chemicals.
Yeah, more things.
There's got to be more ingredients, right?
Yeah.
That you're ingesting and blowing out there. So, you know, I have seen several of those studies, and of course, there have been people all over the country that have been hospitalized based on their vape addiction. You know, and it's usually not just like the normal over-the-counter, you know, like faux cigarettes. It's usually those big deals, the elk bars or whatever they call them, right?
Elf bars.
What do they call them?
The one I'm looking at, Geek Bar.
Okay, yeah,
Geek Bar, Elf Bar,
yeah, all that stuff, right?
Lawyer Bar.
Yeah, so usually it's that kind of thing. So, you know, with the FDA, blocking it for right now, and the Supreme Court, holding it up, that I guess it means boring vape flavors for everybody for the time being.
Oh, no.
How's that going to affect smoke shops? Because I know smoke shops or vape shops are still a thing. Hanging on. It wasn't the boom that it was like 10 years ago.
Right, yeah.
Where like every corner there was a vape shop.
Well, there's a competition in every block, like blowing rings.
You don't understand how big the business was, Rico. So I came down from Phoenix to Tucson in 2016. And in Phoenix, some people were vaping, but it wasn't a lifestyle. I came down here with such a culture shock that everybody was blowing clouds, dude. Clouds everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big thing, and it was big business, and they advertised all over the station and everywhere that you looked. I mean, they were just printing money for a little bit. And then that seemed to kind of like that trend kind of faded away, but obviously people who were vaping never really stopped. Now they're in a process where you got to pick your poison, literally. And now that poison's just going to taste less fabulous. And
Less poisony.
yeah, I think that's going to be
That is
upsetting
fun.
to
That's
some
like the same thread when they had, what was it, the menthol ban?
Oh, yeah.
When they wanted to ban that for a while.
Is that actually still happening, or do they
I
sell
see
menthol
menthol still, don't you?
Yeah, do they still
Yeah.
sell those? All right, cool.
I think some would argue that the menthol ban was racist and unfair, you know?
They're like, so we're going to tell them rainbow sherbet is
So they're
racist
just like,
if
no,
they take that away from us?
We have to get rid of that, then keep the menthols.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the argument.
I'll tell you this, as a former menthol smoker, I was smoking Newport 100s when I was younger.
Oh, geez.
That's the only time I coughed up blood. was that. Yeah, it was super harsh on my throat, my lungs, and I was smoking like a pack a day back then, and I would cough up blood, and that's when I switched, and I was like, you know what, this
Switch.
menthol.
I think I should
switched.
probably just move over to this.
Lateral moves.
Look,
Yeah.
dude, addiction
quit.
is addiction, and people know
That is true.
it's a real bitch. It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
You know, I sweat nicotine, and then when I sweat it, I lick it again, and just to get that re-rush.
The cycle of life,
Yeah.
circle of life.
But yeah, so that's the news. Tariffs and blocks on delicious vapes. Just the delicious ones, not the non-delicious ones. Those are still available near you. I know Rico and I have to switch up our vice of choice because of Jewel having a fight with Enjoy and banning Enjoy had to pull all their products off the shelves of Circle K's and gas stations yesterday or
trade
at
war.
the end of this month because Jewel's like, hey, you're too close to our patent. With this,
So goofy.
yeah,
I know.
yeah,
Patent
But
lawyers
it's
going
not
at
the
it.
patent though, so it's like, oh man,
I
this
know.
is so stupid.
No, there's just and this isn't a mainstream like story because we got so much other important things happening in the world today. But there is like this vape war, that corporate war that is happening between Juul and Enjoy right now. That's probably pretty interesting once you
I was
kind
going
of
to
go
say, I
down
want to see
it.
the Netflix movie on that.
Oh,
now.
it's gonna happen.
Vape
It's
wars.
gonna happen. The fact that Juul was still obviously an organization and a company after all the lawsuits they had to pay out
right.
after they were convicted of marketing towards teenagers and kids.
Yeah.
Whole thing is a trip. And the fact that and we're opening up the show talking about robot cigarettes shows
Sign
that
of the times.
we've come a long way, man.
Yeah.
Patent lawyers.
All right, well, we got a lot to get to today, including your morning moron, of course, Emil. Rico's in studio. Weirdo's going to be joining us as well. We still have a VIP upgrade tickets for 7 Dust that we're going to be giving away. We'll do that in the 7 o'clock hour today, and I have a few pairs of tickets to give away for this weekend's game for your Tucson Roadrunners. So there's your listener mate. Stick around. And don't forget, at 6:30, I'll give you a keyword so you could possibly win $2,000. Yeah. Let's kick things off with Sublime on Rock 1 2.1. Let's go. Yes, we're live on the podcast broadcast. That's Nothing More, featuring Eric Field of I Prevail, House of Sand. New music here in Rock 1 2.1. A very good song. Nothing More is on fire.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah,
Oh, this album is amazing.
yeah, I know their drummer, Ben. I've known him since he was like 15 years old. It's like
Really?
drummer prodigy in a bunch of rock bands up in Phoenix. And to see him with Johnny and Nothing More blow up, couldn't be happier for the kid.
Nice.
Super good kid, super talented, and one of the best drummers in the game, and representing Arizona all the way. So
Hell yeah.
definitely be proud of Nothing More. They got Arizona ties. All right, coming up next, there is a country out there that will not allow you to hide the fact that you might not have a good bulge. I'll tell you about that country right after Lincoln Park's Heavy as the Crown on Rock 2.1 KFMA. Keeping the podcast broadcast going so you can join the conversation, youtube.com/beefvegan. I'll let you guess which country that is.
Germany.
Okay, and what do you guess?
I would have made the same guess.
Oh, okay. You
Yeah.
both think the Germans are the pervs that want to see the sea outline. Okay. Well, I'll let you know if you're right or wrong. Coming up here in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Yes.
The tension.
What a tease.
That was the point. Trying to
I don't know if you
tease.
saw Gary post my TSA crotch pat down.
No, is that on his
First time-
Instagram?
Well, it was. Like, he was laughing
stories?
so hard. I think Spears even texted me. He's like, dude, like the Tucson TSA is like the only time he's had to deal with the pat down. Like, when I came out of the little scanner thing, when you put your hands up, like in the future prison, walking out that little screen on my bulge, on my crotchal area.
Yeah.
There's like a red dot and like a blue. It says anomaly detected. So the guy's like, all right, sir, I'm gonna have to pat you down. And Chef Gary's just dying. He's cackling. He's like, they got you. And
This
I'm like,
was in Tucson?
yeah, on the way to
Okay.
Vegas.
Yeah, what
So-
was the anomaly?
They don't know. My balls.
Yeah, well,
were the
I
anomaly.
would check the doctors. Like, is this
Yeah.
a tumor or what's going
I
on?
know. It's like, this keeps popping up at the TSA. But it was so funny because I was laughing. I'm like, here we go, baby. And I was telling Gary, like, the one thing I regret not doing, and I always told myself I would do this if I had the crotch pat down because I hate it. I think it's such a government overreach, but that neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But I said when they started doing the hand thing, I wanted to go, every time they made a pat, I want to go,
Yeah.
Like,
There's-
it's super awkward. Like,
There's
do it
no
again,
law.
do it again.
There's no law that says you can't moan when they grab your
Right.
genitals.
Right.
You know, so if it's going to be uncomfortable for you, you need to be able to make it uncomfortable for them.
I had to do the thing too because there was two of them. The guy that was about to do it and the girl next to him, like watching in the cuck chair.
Yeah.
And then he's explaining. He's like, "All right, sir, I'm gonna use the back of my palm, the back of my hand. I'm gonna do the thing up the leg." I'm like, "Just get it over with, dude." And she's
Yeah,
like,
dude.
"You have to listen to him say it." And I was like, "What kind of fetish is this, man?"
It's
Like,
so funny how it's
you
like
have to hear
it's
the
not
abuse.
gay if it's the back of my hand.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
because I barely feel on this side of the hand. This is
Right.
my pleasure sensors are on this hand.
Exactly.
This side. This side is like the straight side.
This is boring to me, man.
Yeah.
I'd rather do the other side. bro.
Totally. Pop, 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 pop.
But they did the thing, right? He's like, "I'm gonna have to like put it up to your crevices or something like that, up in
Yeah.
that little crotchal area."
Yeah,
So
get
you,
in
like,
between the
push
balls
up in there.
Yeah, I'm like, good luck, dude. I'm super glued shut in that area if it's a sweaty day. You know, you gotta separate that. Whoop. Like
hope you have some-
Velcro.
Yeah.
Not cool.
So I hope you got one of those devices that can like spread it out like a foot, you know?
All right, let's get back on the air here with Lincoln Park's Heavy as a Crown. All right. There you go. That's Heavy as a Crown by Lincoln Park on Rock 102.1 KFMA. It's a Beefy and a Weirdo hanging out with sexual assault survivor Rico. Who recently had a TSA experience at the Tucson airport.
Indeed.
Yeah, which was not weird at all because they used the back of their hands.
They did.
And get all through the crevices and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Did it move at all when it happened? Like, were
Oh, you
you
mean like, did I get excited a little
yeah,
bit?
yeah. Were you a little like swollen up a little bit? See, in that situation, before I go to TSA, for me, again, I'm fluffing. You know, I have
Right.
to. Before.
Oh my God, dudes are so weird.
Well, no,
we're not.
Look, there's strangers who's going to judge you. They see a whole bunch of other people go through, and
They
that's
don't care. It's like when you go to the doctor, right? Like doctors have seen everything.
You wouldn't
like,
know,
they don't
weirdo.
care.
no, that's
They don't
If
care.
they've seen everything, and you're the worst of the worst, that
Yeah.
ain't good. You know. And in knowing my luck, when I go through any kind of like airport scanning, if I went through the Tucson airport, the U of A basketball team probably went right before me.
Right.
And then so it looks really bad in comparison.
They
too.
laugh. They're like, look at this guy.
Yeah. So do you
It's a
hydrate a
hierarchy.
lot to make sure you don't have any shrinkage going on before you go
Oh,
through?
absolutely.
Okay, that's good.
Before I go to the air, do some push-ups, get the blood circulating.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, do a
a little
little
pump.
back and forth wave.
Yeah. So did you have a good like representation when you did
I
get?
think so.
Okay, that's
Not my
good.
best, but I think I performed good, coach.
Were they when they were giving you the pat down? Did they at any time have to say, "Excuse me, I'm going to have to move your massive wang to the left so I can check to see if you have a bomb to the right"?
I had to call a second person over, like, we need more manpower over here.
Yeah.
But you didn't tell them, like, the reason they pulled me aside is because there was a crotchal anomaly on
Yeah,
the scanner.
crotchal anomaly.
Yeah.
It's just weird. And
Little
it's like
red dot.
just because it hooks to the left a little bit, it's not an anomaly. I hear that's normal. It's just a pimple. Leave it alone.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a wart.
At any
Leave me
point,
be.
did it give you like? Did it make you self-conscious? Like, what is so nominal about my crotch?
I know. What's the anomaly here, sir?
Yeah, dude. I thought I was in the norm.
I know.
See, and that's what would happen to me too, a weirdo. When you're just like, leave it alone. It's just the same as everyone else, and then all of a sudden, like, sorry, you're not the same as everyone else.
Right.
Step aside.
You're a
And like,
freak.
yeah, told you. I don't know.
I like after the pat down, they're like, all right, you're good. I'm like, I know I'm good. Nothing
Right.
in there, you know.
They give you a slap on the ass on the way
They
out.
did, yeah.
That's good.
Good sport.
Full service.
I mean, when I had my locks, like when we would fly, or I'd have to go. They would check my hair.
Oh yeah.
Like that. I'm like, how many people are sneaking stuff in with their hair?
Well, there was that
Right.
story. What was it, South America recently? The guy had that cocaine bust. Where like the cocaine in his hair, like fake
Big
toupee.
time. They've been
Oh,
doing
wow.
that. They've been
Yeah.
doing that. And if
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw a white girl with dreadlocks, I would definitely think there's at least a joint hidden in there somewhere. Or a nug that they forgot about from the last hippie fest they just came from.
I don't know. All the time, like I would come home and my girlfriend would be like, "Honey, you have a branch in your hair again." Like I would constantly just be getting like, I don't know, flowers and leaves and everything else in my hair. I was like, yeah, I guess I do need somebody to freaking
Sir, she had a
check
craft
me.
brew IPA in her bun. We found this.
Yeah. Well, the reason why we talk about crotch anomalies, and in America, of course, it is an uncomfortable experience for most men going through the TSA. It's invasive, to say the least. You know, like it's our bodies. It's our secret that we get to surprise either pleasantly or unpleasantly, depending on the romantic situation. But in this situation, we're talking about there's some countries that don't want to leave anything to the imagination. Those countries are usually, on average, pretty well endowed. France is the country that I'm talking about. They got some tight rules when it comes to men's swimwear. Now, if you remember, France, they went viral over the last Olympics because of like their pole, the pole vaulters.
Oh, yes.
That one pole vaulter who couldn't get over the pole because his massive
Because of his
hog
pole?
hit it
'Cause he
on the
needed to
way
tuck.
down. Yeah, the irony there, and that wasn't the only one. There were so many different France athletes that made the rest of the world look ashamed. And be like, yeah, you may be coming home with the bronze medal in the competition, but you definitely got the gold in eyeballs. Now, lots of pools in France prohibit baggy or loose-fitting swim shorts, making it a requirement to wear tight swim trunks if you're going for a dunk. So they want you to wear as little as possible, and they want a little to the imagination. They want to see the outline.
So wait, is this going to be a law?
This is a law. According to one company, it's a good reason for the rule. Yeah, no, they do this in France. They prohibit it. So if you're going to France on vacation and you want to go to a community pool and you think you could wear your just American baggy swim trunks, think again.
You need a Speedo.
You need to take them off and wear the undies underneath. Yes, a Speedo, a thong, or anything that is little to the imagination, that's what you need to wear.
Hey, if they want to see my baguette, power to them.
Nah, I guess so.
Searching
You know.
for flights to France?
Okay. Well, according to one company, there is good reason for the rule, and it's not just perversion. Eurocamp, which runs pools across Europe, say it's a matter of cleanliness.
Okay.
They say with the baggier the shorts able to be worn as regular clothing, they pick up more dirt and dust, contaminating pool water. Loose shorts retain a lot more water when you're getting out of the pool, leading to slippery puddles. So if you're barely naked, or if you're almost naked, then you're not giving any puddles when you get out of the pool. Just the puddles for those women around watching you get out of the pool. Now, the French rule requires tight-fitting swimwear for men in public pools, and that's dated back since 1903. So they want you pretty much to rock the same style. Mustache not included. So, and you are excited to go to France because of this.
Yeah.
Because you're a visual perv.
Like eye candy.
See, why don't you get a job at Tucson TSA? Then you see all the peeing that you want, and you can pat it down with the back of your hand. Be like, see, it's not assault with the back of my hand.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? So if I slap you in the face with the back of my hand, that's not assault too? See, I don't see your reason, your logic. But yeah, France, holding it down and just super proud. Overly proud.
France is just everything about the French and France is just sexy. Just is. Like if you really think
Chain
about
smoking
it.
in the pool.
Just at the cafe, wearing a beret, laissez-faire, does not care. Like there is something about France.
Ulu cuckoo chez say savoir.
Have you ever seen an unattractive French person?
Yes.
Who?
Oh, well, don't know their names. You think we remember the names of the Uggos? Huh? Jesus.
Pierre.
Pierre. Yeah, Pierre was ugly as hell.
Yeah, huge honker.
Oh, what was his name? That actor, Gerard Depardieu. Gerard
There's
Depardieu.
something about him that's sexy, though.
You're insane.
No, I
Hey,
am
what?
not.
His
It's called the accent and the money. All right.
He had like a Miss Piggy nose. I'm sure he was good looking when he was younger, but he grew into an overbloated alcoholic,
I don't know. He gives me
hot
daddy
mess.
vibes.
Daddy vibes. Well, I'm growing into that, and you don't call me daddy vibes. You know what I mean? I'm getting just as gross as Gerard Depardieu. It's hard to say his
Be
name.
more arrogant and wear a Speedo. You'll be there.
I can't get any more arrogant.
Oh, and
you know that.
get that weird like shelf bowl cut that he has.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
he
what
has
it
a
is.
bowl cut. He's 300 pounds, and a pig nose, and you're just like, something about him. Wee wee.
I
Yeah.
played him Eiffel Tower.
Gerard Depardieu.
Gerard Depardieu.
All right. We had so much that we got to this morning. Earlier this morning, we did a morning moron with that accompanied with a mugshot. So I had Rico and Emil try to guess the crime. In case you missed it, it went a little something like this. Check it out. As the Emptiness Machine from Linkin Park 2.0. 6:15. Now time for your morning moron. Let's get into it. All right, real quick. We're going to start off morning moron with the mugshot, guys. Go ahead and look at the screen.
Oh, look at that dude. He's classy looking.
All right, yes. So one at a time, I need you to guess what the crime is based off this mugshot of this a dreadlocked white dude with a couple face tattoos, couple neck tattoos. We'll start off with you, Rico.
Robbing a vape shop.
Okay, robbing a vape shop. Vape's still on the mind.
Yes, it is.
Yes, that was our show open. All right, what about you, Emil?
I'm going to say he probably is from Florida and he was stealing some kind of like reptile in his pants.
Okay, those are
Solid.
both excellent guesses. Here is the actual headline. Man used a machete
Okay.
to steal a Cinnabon and incense.
There we go.
You see the
Okay.
incense. I'm surprised you didn't get like the incense or a little warm there, because he does look like a dirty hippie. He's a 33-year-old man from North Carolina, which is close to Florida.
Close-ish, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Adjacent.
Yeah, his name's Jeffrey. He was arrested after he went into a grocery store on Monday afternoon with a machete. I like saying it like that.
Yeah.
You have to.
And stole a cinnamon and some incense, which is random, of course. And do you need a machete to steal those two things, or can you just steal those
Can
two
you just
things?
steal them?
Can you do it with a lighter? Can you do it with a fist? Can you do it with a middle finger?
He's making a statement.
Yeah, do you need to murder people by severing limbs over a Cinnabon? We all get a little hangry, and we know that our vans can possibly smell, and we want to like get it zen-like with some proper incense, but we don't take it to the extreme measures that Jeffrey did. The store called the police. They tracked him down. It was easy. He was eating the Cinnabon at the time.
They
so,
smelled the incense.
Yeah.
It's like, I got to get rid of the evidence.
Yeah. And now it's unclear if he used machete to cut it in half at first, of course, which I don't think he would. Jeffrey was charged with robbery with a dangerous weapon, shoplifting, and possession of drug paraphernalia. Now, if he would have just robbed the Cinnabon, which, Matt, give me an estimate of what a Cinnabon's going to cost.
I mean, with inflation and everything, I mean, one Cinnabon, I'm guessing $8.
Okay, so
Like a giant Cinnabon.
You know what? That seems
That's
high
fair.
but reasonable,
I think
right?
so, yeah.
Yeah. So say $8. Okay, the incense, when you get a pack of the incense, how much is that going to be?
Probably like $5, $6, something
Nog
like that.
chompa.
Nog
Okay,
chompa,
so
yeah.
you're looking at a petty theft of less than $20,000 that you could literally have just walked in, grabbed it, walked out, and they probably would have been like, F it.
Right.
It's less than $20 worth of stuff. But no, he went in with a goddamn machete, waving around like a maniac just because he was hangry. Now he's arrested and being held on a $50,000 bond. Dude's gonna go to jail and do some serious time just because he brought a machete. He brought a machete to a thumb wrestling fight.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason to bring any weapons in that scenario.
At least he had a Cinnabon. Those are delicious.
They don't serve
They
them
are
in
pretty
jail,
good.
dude.
You have to smuggle one in.
What's the long
Yeah,
term?
right.
If I'm addicted to Cinnabon, I'm gonna be on the outside where they serve Cinnabons.
I know,
and
smelling
then,
them.
Yeah, and I'll come up with creative ways to steal them each and every day. Oh, I would.
You're
In
gonna have
fact,
that honey bun in there. You're gonna be like, this isn't the same.
I know, right? Have to make some jail Cinnabons out of the toilet.
In fact, actually, this is what I would have done if I was Jeffrey, because Jeffrey looks like he's unhomed, right? So tough times. I
Yeah.
get that, dude. And Cinnabons are expensive. $8, that's a lot. All right.
Delicacy.
So what I would do is I would go in and I would just take the outside ring of the Cinnabon, right? And just tear it off,
Oh,
right? And then I just eat that.
just a little bit.
And then walk away. I do that every day.
Yeah.
And then little by little, they're selling smaller Cinnabons, but you take that up with management.
Just say it's shrinkflation.
Yeah.
You know?
If
Yeah.
you eat partial of that food in the store
Yeah.
and you don't leave the store with it in your hand, is it shoplifting?
Well, I eat grapes when I go to the store sometimes.
You
see if it's
do?
good.
Yeah.
Like the Cinnabon might not be good.
Yeah,
Well-
see? Grazing. And, grazing is something that a lot of Americans do. And honestly, with the
I call
word...
it theft.
Yeah,
No,
with
it's
the
called
word of the
grazing.
day, inflation, you could just assume that there's going to be a lot of people out there grazing for the
yes.
foreseeable future. So anyways, bringing a machete to a graze fest is definitely going to make Jeffrey a morning moron. All right, yeah. Rico can't wait to quit his weekend job, rightfully so. But you're working this weekend, are you not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you working next weekend, are you not?
Mm-hmm.
Weekend after that? You working that?
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's cool. What about the weekend after that?
Maybe.
Ooh, you do have to take April 18th off, honestly. If there is a good reason and excuse to call out sick, it's that one. It's the
Yeah.
three-way, the fair. I mean, how many times are you going to go to the fair this year, right? So if there's only one day that you're going to go to the fair, it should be that day.
I'm saving myself for the ICP. What is it? Gathering.
The
Yeah, to go-
gathering of the
Gathering of the
juggalos?
Juggalos. Yep.
You know what's funny about that is I actually saw a post, and I saw it yesterday, so it was a couple days after April 1st, and so at first I was just like, no way. Then I realized when it was posted. So they showed the gatherings lineup, and it was like, with ICP, of course, and then some of the usual suspects who you would assume would be on the gathering, and then like 50 Cent, and I'm like, oh wow, 50 Cent this year, huh? I kept reading it and be like Eminem and like Journey, and like so it started getting more and more outrageous. I'm like, oh, you motherfuckers, you got me.
Damn it.
Sunday.
Yeah, now as Violent J, who's been staying busy with doing a podcast with his brother and also like doing cameos again. I guess he might be struggling for money, but who knows? To fund a wrestling organization now will do that. He did promise that this year's gathering is going to be the biggest and best one yet. 25 years is a big silver anniversary, so you got to kind of go with the big surprise there. Anthony showed me this. I'll talk about this real quick. You know, because we talked about Joe Gatto. It's a very interesting situation with Joe Gatto. Now, Joe Gatto got accused of sexual misconduct. Okay? Now, like 2 days after we had an interview with him, and we totally broke down with him, and we had a good time. He was complimenting.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he was complimenting the interview and everything, right? And then, of course, these terrible allegations came up. And unfortunately, not the first time that allegations like this kind of have showed up. So now, Anthony showed me this. A Practical Joker star Joe Gatto cancels tour, enters treatment facility following sexual assault allegation. Here's the thing with this, though, which is brutal. That's my friend Sarah and her family.
Adorbs.
Yeah. They're a good family. That's who I was partying with on the compound. That they own like 150 acres. It's insane, dude. That's a whole nother story. The more I found out about this story, and they show the screenshots of this.
Oh, no.
This is a girl who was like 30. Slid in his DMs. There was a nice little amicable back and forth. Like, hey, you bought tickets to the show. If you want a meet and greet, yeah, absolutely. I'll hook you up with a meet and greet. Nothing nefarious there. He did the meet and greet, right? He went on to do the show, right? She gets drunk at the show, right? And enjoys the show, slides in his DMs after. They start chatting, right? And then she's just like, oh, yeah, I'd love to hang out with you again. And he's like, well, do you want to come over to the hotel, right? And she's like, yeah. And so then she drives herself to his hotel room. There has consensual sex with him, and then leaves. And then afterwards, then says, hey, I was too drunk to consent. But she drove herself to the hotel room and then had sex with him. Now, the thing is, Joe Gatto did cheat on his wife. That's something that I don't think he's disputing, and it's why he's going to this facility.
Yikes.
But this opened up the floodgates of conversation of, you know, what exactly is a sexual assault. And, you know, when you saw this information online, there's a big argument from women saying it's women like this that are ruining it for other, you know, women who are actual SA victims.
Right.
This is a situation where it was immoral, yes, on his part, just for cheating on his wife.
Right.
Sure.
But she made the choice to go over there and did not allege at any point in time during text messages or in her allegations that there was anything but consensual physical activity that happened at the hotel. She just said that she was too drunk to make the right call.
It falls in line with every single time this has happened with like that template where it's like, yeah, it courts a rich person, rich guy, celebrity, get into bed with them, afterwards pretend to be, like, oh my God, I'm a victim now, and then get paid out.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Yes.
Well, and as speaking as a female.
Yes, you're the female.
So I, of all people, can tell when somebody's had too much to drink, it's time to get them home, no matter what the situation is. No, we're not going to the next bar. No, you're not getting your next drink. Like, it's time to go home. There is that sloppy fall down drunk. They don't need to be doing anything. And I would think most humans, especially dudes, can recognize that.
Yes. And
so even
even
if it was consent all the way through, it's looking like Gold Star, let's go. But she's fallen down. She can't hold herself up. You put her ass to bed.
Right.
You
exactly.
know what I mean?
Let's get on there. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. We're talking about the Joe Gatto situation, which he recently announced that he is actually checking himself into a facility, a sex treatment facility, following a sexual assault allegation, and canceled his tours. Now, we just talked to Joe, and he was performing at the Linda Ronstadt Center, and I believe that was going to happen on April 5th. Or 4th or something. I think that was going to be today, so that show would be canceled if it didn't already happen. With that, though, the allegations are murky because we were talking about how the woman in question, it was a 30-year-old woman who approached him, messaged him. He hooked her up with the meet and greet. After the show, she messaged him again. He invited her over to his hotel room. She drove over to his hotel room. They had consensual sex, and then later she alleges that she wasn't sober enough to give consensual sex. But you're assuming if she was fall down drunk, but let's say in the scenario.
No, I'm assuming she wasn't.
Right, because she drove herself there.
Yeah,
like
she
drove
herself there.
Dub said on the stream, sober enough to drive, but not sober enough to consent. The math ain't mathing, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Well, and then just the simple fact of, like, we have all every human has drank a little too much, not been fall down sloppy drunk, and been like, I normally wouldn't have done that, and then we move on.
I think
not accuse somebody of rape.
Yeah, exactly. And so
That's too much.
There are women online who are mad at her with the whole story and the DMs all released and revealed, saying, why would you say this? This basically discredits real abuse that happens all the time.
Right.
So, it's a murky situation. Obviously, no person likes to be accused of that, especially if they're innocent of that. And of course, it is something that is affecting his wife and his small children, because at the end of the day, he ended up cheating on his wife. And that is a bed that he made, that he is living with right now, which is a lot of grief as is.
Which he is absolutely taking 100% accountability for, too. Like, he is like, yeah, I did this thing. I've done it in the past, but I did not do anything against somebody's will.
Yeah, dude, it's brutal, crazy. And again, we had this like run of where we're just talking to people and then allegations right afterwards. Just like, man. Like, is it the curse of the Beef Vegan Presents? Like, we'll interview you, and then next thing you know, you get canceled, you get outed. Like, it's
No. We have a lot that has not happened to.
Yeah, but I'm on a streak, so. I want to see who's our next person. I'm going to talk to Marilyn Manson tomorrow. Nothing can go wrong there.
The worst part of my mind with this whole story is thinking that the guys in the back room from Impractical Jokers are watching this whole situation.
If this is an impractical joke, then they got him. They got him. I mean, what a great impractical joke.
In your face.
They're
sitting in your face.
They're sitting in the bathroom like, look at it. He's going all the way with her. Oh, man. This is going to get him. This is what you get for quitting the show.
Yep.
What an impractical
the
joke.
long game, so impractical.
So brutal.
Those jokers.
All right, let's do some headlines here. All right, here's some random headlines to go down the rabbit hole if you choose. A woman in Poland robbed 2 banks while she was 8 months pregnant. So
Baller.
Exactly. Women can do anything, right?
Yeah, backwards and in high heels.
Yeah, she also tricked her husband into being the getaway driver. So she was robbing banks without letting him know she was robbing banks. She told him that he was picking her up from a checkup. And so men being men, it was just like, okay, yeah, I don't have to go to the checkup. That's fine. I'll just pick you up at whatever time. So he would pick her up, and then she'd be like, oh, we need to drive faster in this checkup.
Right.
I didn't like that doctor. And so, yeah, she ended up getting caught, unfortunately. Probably will be, giving birth in jail. But giving birth is an expensive process. So hopefully she'll be able to cover some of her.
Where was this at?
Poland.
In Poland? Nah, she might see a year in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have crazy punishments for these kind of crimes.
Oh, okay. So
or temporary insanity. You're 8 months pregnant. Hormones be crazy.
Yeah. That's her defense attorney's opening statement. It's like, Your Honor, hormones be crazy.
You're right. Look at her.
Case dismissed.
Good point.
Yeah. And they're like, wait a second. Well, then how was the husband so dumb he didn't even know he was a getaway driver? Your Honor, we are in Poland. Huh? Too rude. Okay. A 76-year-old woman in Pennsylvania is desperately searching for the winning lottery ticket, as we said in F My Life News. That was in a jacket pocket that she donated to the Vietnam Veterans of America Foundation. I just wanted to repeat that headline real quick in case you're a Vietnam veteran and you recently got a jacket. Check your pocket. You're rich. Don't tell her.
Yeah.
All right. The latest the latest fashion trend I feel like I'm ahead of. Prosthetic six-pack abs. Yes. Prosthetic six-pack abs.
About time.
Are the latest fashion trend. And if you don't believe me, I have a picture and everything that will show it off here. All right, so here's a model, and then look at that, prosthetic abs. That's the new shirt you could wear. Make yourself look super buff if you're skinny enough to wear that.
It's amazing how much the fashion industry really do steal from the queer folks, because drag kings have been using those kind of prosthetics for years.
Okay.
Years.
Well, I have six-pack tattoo on my stomach, right? So is that better than prosthetic abs?
No.
And am I drag king because of it?
No.
Good.
You should be.
I should be.
Should be, but you're not.
I mean, I cosplay as a man pretty well. But yeah, that's the latest trend. So be careful if you hook up with a guy with a six-pack. It might not be a six-pack.
Might not be real.
A latex suit. But at the same time, once you're that far, and we're only a couple years away from all being in love with sex robots, what's the difference, right? All right, a man in Canada was arrested after watching a movie on his iPad while driving. It's unclear what the movie was, but what movie would you watch while driving worth getting arrested for? And not porn.
That was good.
I know it's usually porn, but then it usually leads to like accidents because you end up rear-ending the person in front of you because that's just like
Yeah.
POV style. So what movie?
Oh God, Pulp Fiction.
Okay, Pulp Fiction, good movie to get arrested for. What movie would you be willing to get arrested for while driving?
Project Mayhem, baby. Let's go Fight Club.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Being chaotic, so yeah.
I love how we chose the violent one.
Hell yeah.
Today, Rico and I choose violence.
Yeah. All right. Don't look at your phone before bed. A study says that using screens before bed just 1 hour increases insomnia by 59%.
Yup.
I think this is probably the reason why you're sleepy most days, Rico, because I
Yeah.
feel like you're always glued to your phone.
Yeah, it's not gonna stop. Sorry, doctors.
Oh, geez. Yeah, all right.
Why don't you fix the light problem? Then we'll talk.
All right. Well, it does reduce your sleep duration by 24 minutes. That's a good 24 minutes. All right. TikTok, of course, is in the news for all the weird reasons. We don't know whether or not TikTok will be a thing here, if they will officially ban it and, with the parent company. So Mark Cuban is backing a TikTok competitor called Skylight, which is built on Blue Sky's technology. So Blue Sky, I think, is the new Twitter as well. So these are all just different alternatives.
One of my clients was telling me about Blue Sky, that it's kind of like Twitter and it just...
It's Jack Dorsey's, new Twitter, as he cashed out and sold, Twitter to Elon Musk for like $40 billion.
Are there nudes on there?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I did sign up for a Blue Sky account, but I haven't necessarily scrolled. I'm still on the Twitter bandwagon just because of the trending tabs, which was the best source of news for quite some time. And of course, obviously it gets a little murky with the Twitter cult that is growing. But I thought, okay, well, maybe Blue Sky, so that way you kind of like compare and contrast and find like the medium or what is the truth.
Which
that
echo
lies
chamber
in the
do
middle.
I want?
Well, that's the thing, Rico.
Yeah.
I don't try to stay in one echo chamber. I like to hear
Cover 'em
all
all.
sides and then try to come up with my own conclusions of parcels of truth in all of them. So Blue Sky might be one that you might want to sign up for. It is fastly growing. As for Skylight, the TikTok competitor, it's going to be difficult to compete with TikTok right now. They're still a monster. So unless the government shuts them down, I don't see anything taking over TikTok.
Well, I'm just confused because Skylight is a brand. It's photo. It's one of those digital frames.
Yeah.
That company. So I'm very confused on how he could then use the word Skylight for that.
I just bought it out.
Yeah, dude, it's Mark
Maybe,
Cuban.
yeah, I guess.
It's got banged, dude.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. Some headlines for you. Let's keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. You can join us youtube.com/BFegan. Music on the way from Rise Against on Rock 102.1. Clear. All right, yeah, I do have my contract negotiation today at 11, so we'll see how that goes. Whether or not it goes well will depend on whether or not I do a show tomorrow, so heads up. Might not do a show tomorrow. I might have to pull one of those plays. So we'll see how that goes. And, and we're there. And that's all I can really talk about with that. But my contract ends in July. So the fact that they have a re-sign renewal contract in April is a good sign. They definitely want me to stick around. Now it's my choice as a professional and someone who's accomplished all that I accomplished so far here and overcome all that I've overcome. With the obstacles that I've had here, is it going to be good enough for me to be like, okay, yes, this is where I need to stay for the foreseeable future? Or is it one of those things where I'm like, I have to make a terrifying decision of, changing this part of my life and seeing if there's anything out there in a dying industry? I feel confident about the skill set that we've been able to amass and develop here. Utilizing all different forms of media and the way that I present this show and everything that the experience that I've had from the 8 years of working for free every day, from the 8 years that I've had here, working in every different role. Like my resume is stacked and I feel good about that. But I do like this company. This company is one of the only companies that are like a family-owned company. Because there's terrible companies out there that are public companies, meaning that they have stock they have stocks, and with that they've been cutting left
they're
and
even
right.
more cutthroat.
Oh, dude, dude. There's clusters out there with a company out there that has no GM, no nothing. It just basically jukeboxes because they cut the cost so much just to make their stock just stay a little bit afloat, which is not playing radio. It's playing stock market, and that is going to be the death of radio because what makes radio great in many ways is not only the local connection, the live connection, right? It is, I mean, people are listening to podcasts more than ever, right? So the audio media is more popular than it's ever been, right? And it's a media that's always going to be around. Like, you know, while you're driving, you want to listen to someone like talk as you go. It's either music or talk. And that's what this morning radio is. It's the original podcast. It's the original social media. It's just evolving, right? So, you know, there are companies out there that know this and they invest in talent and shows and you know, assets to sell. And then there's companies that are just like, we want to keep the stock at 3 cents a stock share, so we don't go in default. So we're gonna play nothing but Britney Spears on loop or whatever the fuck, right? So yeah, it is one of those things. But there is a couple comforting thoughts that go through my head as I get ready to potentially negotiate. One, my daughter moved out, right? So she's an adult, and that's not my main responsibility anymore. Obviously, I'll always have to, you know, support my daughter one way or another, but, you know, not necessarily the financial burden that being a single parent is growing up, right? So got that, and I don't have to be concerned about that. She's in a safe place. She's good. A good place in life. I'm happy. And in my lease agreement, I fulfilled my lease agreement. So, like last time when it was coming up, right, or when I got fired from this company the first time, I was like 5 months into a lease. So I had to stay 7 months or I have to pay a whole shit ton of money, right? So that's what kept me in Tucson. And luckily it did, and it worked out for me. But, you know, that was a terrible feeling at the time, knowing that you're kind of tied to a place with very little options.
Right.
And then had to pay for it and everything. So with the lease up and I'm living month to month, so I have the complete freedom to go wherever I want to go. And I have the opportunity with connections in town. And if I wanted to stay and say, the saying is work across the street, right, for a competitor, I have a non-compete clause, right, for a certain amount of time. But I could definitely get a job with the Roadrunners and, you know, bide my time until that non-compete clause is up and then go across the street. It's a thought to have.
I thought they couldn't do the non-competes anymore.
They were so close. They were so close to making it illegal. But the government stepped in, the money got involved, and everything's on the back burner, and non-competes are still a thing.
Damn.
I know. I was feeling so confident about that, too, in the last negotiation. Because the fact is, I signed the contract last year, and the fact that they only give me a one-year contract is a slap in the face as well. You know, I'm trying. Yeah. We're trying so hard here, right?
Right.
And you guys are contributing and still doing other jobs. You know, like, this is not an ideal situation for anybody involved. And they know that. But, you know, and at the same time, they're still reaping the benefit. And they're happy with what we're producing, right? But it's like, okay, well, now I'm glad that you're happy. I proved everything that we could prove. Now you just have to make it whole. There's been lots of promises made at the beginning of this when I got this opportunity from a former president of the company who since then retired. But there's lots of promises made, and I've delivered on every one of my promises. So, you know, it's time for you to follow through on your one, right? So, yeah, that's behind the scenes. That's all you're going to get, though, okay? So, with that, and thank you for loving the show. And, yes, my kid finally did move out. Earlier this morning, we did this. What is this? Find out. Yeah, 7:14 and Rock 102.1 KFMA. If you could tell by that intro, it's time for your music news with Weirdo, what's going on in the music industry?
Well, we've got two major bands that we give a lot of play on KFMA, and they are doing some lineup changes / people have quit. It's just been a whole thing to try to keep track of.
Yeah, it's been actually kind of shady when you really think about it, because they haven't really made any announcements until they got caught. And then they're just like, oh, by the way, here's an official statement. Let's talk about Godsmack first.
So that is Godsmack indeed. So their drummer Shannon Larkin and their guitarist Tony Rambola actually retired last year.
Yeah, last year.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure Godsmack came to Tucson within that time. Did they have like replacement players happening?
They did. So they did have, they had Will Hunt of Evanescence, and they also had Sam Bam Colton, who plays with both Dorothy and Faster Pussycat. on stage with them, and people were like, what is going on? But they kind of like kept kind of dodging the issue a little bit, being like, maybe it's permanent, maybe it's temporary, we don't know. But officially still no more new music. You had your last album in 2023.
Yes, and I guess that is the silver lining, because if you recall, when we talked about this, in detail, especially even with like a couple musicians that we interviewed after that announcement was made, Godsmack said, hey, we're done making new music. You guys like our old stuff. You want to hear the old stuff anyways.
Right.
We could just tour on that. And, a lot of us agreed. Be like, yeah, actually, we don't need any more Godsmack music. And
We have a ton of it after 3 decades.
No slight to Godsmack, but we pretty much got their range, and, they got their
catalog.
bangers. Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah.
Well, and they just really gave that reason of like they wanted to get off that cycle of every 2 years you release a new album, you tour like crazy, you take a month off, and then you're back in studio. So they just wanted to get out of that cycle. They've been doing it for 30 years.
Yeah, so basically, 2 of the members got burnt out. They're like,
Yes.
we were cashing so many checks.
Right.
We're tired of writing solely songs because the 2 members that stepped away from the band are recording music with each other and doing their own little side projects. Now it's passion projects. Not going to be a big platinum mega push or nothing. But as creatives, as artists, yeah, that's cool. You know, you can sit back, hang out with your family in the woods. I imagine they live in the woods, tinker around on the guitar, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's what they both have come out and said of like, we're just kind of wanting the quieter life. You know what I mean? Focus on our family. Like, you've been doing something for 30 years, especially something as exhausting as touring.
Yes. And good for them, but then the legacy of
Metallica
Godsmack
has left the chat.
Yeah. The legacy of Godsmack continues on with 2 original founding members, right?
Yes.
And that's still technically, to me, Godsmack. As long as Sully's involved, it's Godsmack.
It is.
Yeah.
He's kind of the face of the band.
Right.
100%.
Right, especially with the lead singer and everything. But like that always brings up that debate, which leads me up to Bad Wolves, because they've had 2 members quit as well, including a founding member.
Yeah.
So now, granted, we had Tommy Vex that left in 2021. That was the lead singer where they really made it big with Cranberries' cover of Zombie. And that ended up being a whole hot mess and a whole other discussion. But Doc Coyle and oh no.
Well, who cares about the last name?
Conkiel.
Yeah.
So they are going to be leaving, and everybody has said like it's totally amicable, everything's fine, there wasn't any problems, just a matter of we're done.
Yeah. So who is the founding member? Because the Bad Wolves, to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, essentially it was like a studio project kind of put together, right? Like a label's like, hey, we need a rock band to fit this genre. We got a key component right here. We got this Tommy Vex kid. He's a good-looking buff guy with some decent vocals. You guys aren't like great artists, so let's do a cover song and then off to the races. And that's kind of like what happened. And of course, political differences separated Vex from the boys. Who are the boys though?
So the boys, with Tommy Vex, it was Doc Coyle, Chris Kane, Kyle, and John Boken, who was on drums. Now, John's still in the band. Kyle's still in the band. Chris Kane, who played rhythm guitar, left, and then now he's back replacing Doc Coyle. So it's just this.
I miss my wolf pack.
Yeah, so all right, we're back here live. Get ready for Weird News with Weirdo here. 4 seconds before we get on. Rock 102.1 KFMA. That's 3 Days Grace with I Hate Everything About You. I love that song. Always do.
So good. I got divorced to that song.
Did you?
Fantastic. Yes.
In the courtroom?
No, when that
Your Honor, play it.
No,
Yeah.
when 3 Days Grace came with Five Finger Death Punch in 2019, me and my ex and his new wife and my mom, we took the kids to a show. I didn't realize 3 Days Grace was part of the lineup. And then I'm just standing there awkwardly. And then I saw like my ex was also kind of looking at me. I was like, dude, we got divorced to this album.
Oh my God.
That is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is before Taylor Swift took off then, huh?
Yeah.
I'm assuming, yeah.
Yeah.
Because my last breakup, I heard a lot of Taylor Swift, and I'm just like, I am not John Mayer. I am not John Mayer. This is not relevant to our situation. All right, we got some weird news of Weirdo. What's going on in the world of weird?
There's always this, like, it seems like there's this competition on the internet of who can have the weirdest pets.
Yeah.
And most exotic pets. Now, granted, United States, we have quite a few laws, depending on the state you're in, that limits you on what you can have. But apparently not in Ireland.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in fact, there's a huge movement to try to get some of these laws on the books to keep people from owning exotic animals. And it's really gone they're really pushing this idea because recently a man brought his zebra into a pub that he legally owns.
He legally owns a zebra. Was it
Yes.
an emotional support zebra?
He didn't ever give a reason why he has it. He just has it.
Was this man Conor McGregor? I feel like
I feel it'd be a Conor move.
Yeah,
for sure.
I feel like
No.
Ireland, before Conor McGregor and then after Conor McGregor, are going to have about 20 different laws,
Right.
all because of Conor McGregor.
Right.
It's
So-
my effing zebra.
So there was a man who was walking around with his zebra in the town of Coclair in Ireland and eventually ended up ending the day at a local pub, and its owner was very excited.
Oh, the owner of the zebra or the owner of the pub?
The owner of the pub.
Yeah, because
course he
who wouldn't?
was.
Who wouldn't be excited about
I
a
would be
zebra?
excited.
Yeah. So
How many
they-
people are drunk enough to probably doubt themselves? Like, am I that drunk? Is that a zebra?
Right.
Like, what
yeah.
the hell?
Yeah, or did a referee walk in the door? So they celebrated this zebra, right? They
Yeah.
buy rounds of shots and stuff. So what's the big problem?
That's what I want to know. Like,
Yeah.
who cares? But no, animal rights activists are like, guys, this is getting out of hand because in Ireland, it isn't. You can absolutely own a tiger, a king cobra, a zebra, a freaking giraffe if you want it. It doesn't matter.
I did not know this.
Rico's like, how do I move to Ireland?
All right, Rico. If you moved to Ireland, what's the first exotic animal you would like to buy?
Oh God, an elephant,
Oh, an elephant.
Irish
Man.
elephant.
Yeah, those
Just
got
so
to be
you could
hard to
literally
maintain.
have the elephant in the room.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I mean, the shovel elephant poo. I look at
Oh,
the
yeah.
animals based off their poo. That's why I won't get like a big dog because I don't want to pick up human-sized poo.
Right.
Elephant, that's like 4 shovels full, right?
Worth it to have a Guinness with an elephant and talk about your life problems.
Yeah.
Come
Well,
on.
because elephants have good memories. They'll
They do.
remember.
Absolutely. And they're like, I remember you're doing this to yourself. You're repeating the toxic behavior.
You're in a cycle,
Yeah.
Rico.
And you're not listening to me. As your elephant friend, I keep saying, don't do this again.
I can murder you. Listen to me.
All right, what else going on in weird news here, Widow?
Rico, I have a quick question. Okay, because both you and I work out. How many pull-ups can you do in a row?
Ooh, good question,
Maybe 12.
bitch.
Honestly, it's tough. When you have
No, I
heavy body weight, it's kind of
Yeah.
like skinny guys go like.
I know.
Yeah.
I hate skinny guys who flex on the
I
pull-up
know.
thing. Yeah, it's like it was difficult for me. It took me 30 years to be able to do a pull-up. 30 years,
yeah.
dude. Yeah,
got it.
30. Yeah, pull-ups are not easy. Like, there is a technique to it and everything else. Well, a man has broke the Guinness World Record of the most pull-ups in 24 hours.
He's one of those skinny guys, right? Gotta be.
I would say he's mid-build.
Okay.
Yeah, like he's not like 120 pounds. Like, I would say
Right.
probably 180.
Okay.
I thought I saw a stream recently of a guy doing this. Did somebody else break his record, or was this
No, this is the
the
dude.
guy? The dude? Okay,
This is
still
the guy.
working on it.
This popped up
So-
on your algorithm, huh?
Of course it did.
Of course it did. So this guy has actually held the record 2 times before and then kept getting beat. So right now he is holding it at 10,001 pull-ups in 24 hours.
That's it.
That's it?
That's
Yeah, I
crazy.
was expecting more.
Do the math on that. 10,001 in 24 hours. How many pull-ups is that per hour? And he's got to be consistent, right? I'm sure there's a little bit of hang time in between to kind of somewhat rest up, but that
That's
seems impossible.
416 pull-ups in an hour.
Wow.
So
That's insane.
let's divide that by 60.
Yeah, by minute.
That's 6 pull-ups per minute.
Yeah, so
and
one
he
every
was-
10
and-
seconds.
Yeah, and he's probably going a bit faster if he wants to take like breaks.
Yeah.
But again, anybody that does these like 24-hour challenges, like Kat Von D years ago, she did that 24-hour tattoo challenge, and it talked about like the mental wear of just staying up 24 hours. You just had Corey.
Cory Booker, yeah.
Yeah,
So I was
yesterday.
thinking
Like-
that was like an impressive feat, and I'm like, that's nothing, dude. All he was doing was talking. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. You know what my first thought was when I saw that about Cory Booker? I was like, Beef could do that.
I don't know if I can go 24 hours. I don't have that kind of stamina. I mean, in fact,
Yeah,
it's
but
hard for me to
Dude,
string a
let's do it.
sentence
Let's make it
together.
a challenge for you.
It's hard for me to string together a sentence during the show, but
Cory
much
Booker has you
after
beat.
it.
Come on, you're way more.
Yeah, Cory Booker has
Now,
me
Enthusiastic
beat.
than
granted,
him.
Cory Booker was staying on one specific topic, but like if it was just talking and keeping people engaged for 24 hours, I do think you could do it.
I'll give you a topic. Jersey Mike's. For
Yo,
24 hours.
The
no.
challenge.
First off,
No, the challenge.
Yeah, it would be the challenge. And I can't stay on topic for an entire segment, let alone 24 hours. You know what I mean? So
Let's make it a crowd fund thing.
But still, yeah, so let's get back to the original subject. Speaking of ADHD, so yeah, so 10,001 pull-ups in friggin' 24 hours. That's
Crazy.
insane.
yeah. So this guy either gets all the ladies or none of them. So
I
that's
mean,
an
the
extreme.
amount of testosterone, like let's talk about hormones, like that'll wipe you out for weeks.
I know. It's he has so much testosterone that it actually made me menstruate just listening to the story. So,
I wonder if Red Bull was sponsoring him too.
right?
That'd been brilliant.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, that's a weird news, weirdo. We're going to hit the reset, keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast, and wrap things up with the beef tip after music from Blink 182 on Rock 102.1. Speaking of the challenge,
Why
crap.
do you do that, dude?
yeah, you did it.
bad.
Yesterday, I talked about how Netflix is debuting a live version of Pop the Balloon. Pop the Balloon is that YouTube dating series where, a bunch of women line up with red balloons. A guy comes out and he says, hey, like, my name is Steve and I do this, this, and this. And as soon as a girl is out, she'll pop the balloon, be like, I'm out. Like, I don't want to bang this dude, right? So that took off, that viral fame, and some pretty funny, awkward interactions because of it. All originated from YouTube, and it was like an urban-centric series. So Netflix is like, we're going to take this, we're going to whitewash it, we're going to add reality stars, and we're going to do it live. And that's what they're going to be doing. I think it drops on April 25th, and it's going to be Pop the Balloon Live. And Johnny Bananas, the OG challenge vet, is going to be one of the single, people presenting himself to women who are going to pop the balloon. There's also a list of who's who of reality single sluts, and it makes sense that Johnny Banana is going to be one of them. So
You know what I'm more excited about? I want to hear more about, not the challenge, but what's our Spanish channel boy? What's the
Gerardo?
Gerardo? Is that?
Yeah, Gerardo. What?
No, the show, the reality show where he ripped his shirt. No.
Oh! Yeah.
What's the update on him?
That was let me pull up.
I want to know what happened. Is he okay?
Yeah, no, he's on the Spanish side of Survivor.
Survivor.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's when Survivor producers surprised him with the guy, his ex-girlfriend and the guy she was banging. And then she quit the show. And I think the guy that she was banging possibly quit the show as well. And his name is, scroll through. It's been a minute since I... Yeah, my boy, Montoyo. Yeah.
What's up, boy?
I remembered before I pulled up on Montoyo, but that's the update on Montoyo doing Survivor and Spanish Survivor, and hopefully he does pretty good.
Hope he does well.
Yeah, he's the man, and the country fell in love with him, and not only that, so did the world, and something that you can't even speak the language. You're just like, damn, that's good.
Pure drama.
For real. All right, what else we got going on here? Let me finish up.
If we did propose you doing a 24-hour... Oh, I had Cory Booker. Did he pee at all during that? Was there any bathroom breaks? What were the rules on that?
Yeah, I don't understand the rules on that kind of stuff.
I think
a cup?
In that situation, you probably wear a diaper or something.
Right?
Yeah, I know he went 24 hours straight, so there was no bathroom breaks.
Damn.
Yeah, it's hardcore. And this, of course, is to prove a point and kind of fight against the current administration. It's not something that hasn't been done before. But still impressive by any feat to talk. And at the end of it, this is the most impressive part, is that he didn't sound raspy. He didn't sound like he was losing his voice.
Right. I mean, in the post interview that I saw for a few minutes, you could tell he was definitely tired, but his voice was fine.
Yeah, imagine having to do a post interview after that. Be like,
oh, yeah, that was my first thought.
Me.
After that, I'd be like, absolutely not. You can't talk to me for 12 hours. But have you guys ever heard of a charity fundraiser called Thon? That Penn State puts on.
Mm-mm.
So my girlfriend went to Penn State, and at one point, she was one of the leaders of it. So what they do is all these different, groups, whether it's the sororities and all that, they raise money to do a 40-hour dance.
What?
So that's one of those, again, those long running things where you cannot sleep, but they do have it in the rules of you have, you can run to the bathroom at these times, and they have it all scheduled. You can also have somebody register, a friend, a partner, a parent, that they get to come out at times to help you emotionally get through it, because you're up on your feet for 40 hours, and the only time that you can sit is to go to the bathroom, and they time it. They're
that sounds dangerous.
So one year my girlfriend did it, and then
she did it?
Yeah, she did it. She did the 40 hours. And then occasionally Andrew would be able to go and kind of give her that emotional support. And then they switched, and then he did it the next year.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Why do people
The-
pass out
But
from
again,
that?
well, these are college kids.
Yeah, I know.
That's the other thing I was thinking about. I was like, these are all like 19 to 21
Youngins.
to 22-year-old kids.
No, I did it. I danced for 12 hours one day. It was the Fiesta Day parade. Festival was happening. My stepdad's company got booked to provide a bunch of games for this like tailgate that was happening. And it was on New Year's Day. So New Year's Eve, I ended up doing MDMA, Molly, and rolling. I didn't go to sleep at all. Then I worked the next day. I had to set this whole thing up. And then I was running basically like a hat dance exhibition where we had a bunch of, mariachi hats sitting around there, and we're playing musical chairs, and we're dancing around. So I was dancing with the people to get them going
Right.
because I was on Molly, right? And I'm just like, boom. And I had a bunch of models there, like Cuervo models. They were really grooving me because I was outgoing. I'm dancing. I got moves. I was grinding on them. We're doing all types of stuff. And then afterwards, they wanted to hang out with me. But my car died, and then I had to get it jumped. So then I just went home because I was exhausted after 12 hours. I shit you not, I couldn't walk for 3 days. My entire
Right.
body seized up on me after
Right.
that.
You were on PEDs, dude.
Yes, and that was 36 hours straight. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. We are almost out of time, but I'd like to thank everybody for checking out the podcast broadcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We are continuing to give out tickets for 7 Dust at VIP upgrades, so don't forget to join us then. And Robin Nash is up next with another keyword for you, so you can win $2,025. But before we leave you, let me give you a beef tip. If you're stressed out, start sleeping with a teddy bear. Oh, yes.
100%. Yes.
CNN talked to a bunch of experts who think that more adults should be sleeping with stuffed animals. We tend to think about it just for kids, but they say grown-ups can also benefit from it for the same reason. Hugging something soft is also so comforting. That's why I take these KFMA boobs home with me each and every night when I feel stressed.
No, I'm like giggly excited about this. I have a Baphomet stuffed animal that I weighted, and I snuggle with it every night.
You sleep in a bed with 3 other people.
I am aware
Why?
of this.
Jesus.
But my girlfriend
else do you
also,
need?
Yeah.
my girlfriend also has her stuffed animal who's a jaguar that we call Jagoff.
Yeah, but so
We're
that's
adorable.
6 sleeping creatures a night. Well, they say if you could help it, tend to lie in bed if you're feeling stressed at night, if it can help you sleep, especially if you start associating it with sleep. So if you're an adult, you're stressed out, sleep with a teddy bear, or just get yourself a regular old bear. What's up? Yeah.
If they let me back in Build-A-Bear, looking at you, Tucson Mall. I'll be back.
Yeah, they banned you because of your opening question. Can I put my D in it? Get out, sir. Get out. So there's your beef tip. Thank you guys again. Don't forget to subscribe, youtube.com/beefvegan. Follow us on the socials. Until then, drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. Later. And clear.
You wish upon a side of beef.
Can I put my D in it?
Can I put my D in it? It's a new game.
But if you've been mean or kind of bad, I will knock out all your teeth.
Babuski. See you tomorrow, hopefully.